Speaking about the Brooklyn Bridge, in 1967, when I was doing some time in Comstock, New York, at Great Meadow, me and a guy from Brooklyn, an actual mafioso who was doing a 5-year bid, I was doing 3. I was sort of friendly with him. I really didn't like him because he was a big mouth. We sold a farm guy, a very big guy, the Brooklyn Bridge, the Verrazano Bridge, that actually connects Staten Island to the tip of Brooklyn, for 2 cartons of cigarettes. This guy's name was Dennis Scotto, heavily connected guy, and thought he was a real tough guy because, like a lot of them do, he made the grave mistake of afterwards telling me that instead of us splitting a carton each, he wanted 15 packs. Of course, I told him to go fuck himself. He got a little nasty, and I says, well, you know, if he doesn't like what I have to say, I'm going to take the other 5 packs and probably the whole 2 cartons, and then he could meet me down by the slop stink, and I'll crack his head open. Of course, he backed off, which many pseudo-tough guys do. But anyway, about 2 months later, I was in E-Block on the Flats, around the same time that song I'm Your Puppet and What Becomes of a Broken Heart came out. I always identified timelines with music. And there was a black guy, a big black guy, who I actually had knocked out with a double left hook in the big yard, comes walking up to my cell, and I thought he was looking for retaliation. He said, "Pop, I don't want no trouble. Me and you was all right." I says, "Yeah." Well, I says, "What's up?" He said, "Well, Stacy, who you sold the Brooklyn Bridge to, the Verrazano, has made a pipe in a metal shop, and he's coming after you this afternoon." I said, "Brown," that was his name. I said, "I really appreciate you telling me. I know how to handle it." Anyway, when we locked out to go to mess hall for dinner, Stacy walked up to me with his hands behind his back. I knew the pipe was coming. I figured he was right-handed, and I said, "Yeah, Stacy, what's up?" And he came down on me with that pipe with the right hand, a high block, 3 triple right hands, and I knocked them out right on the Flats, and the whole crew down there was saying, "Holy crap, Pop did it again. He knocked out Stacy with the pipe." Never forget that as long as I live. But I'll tell you, if you're going to sell somebody the Verrazano Bridge, you better be able to back it up. Trust me. By the way, me and Stacy became friends later on. He turned out to be a very good guy, and at that time I had a whole slew of contraband, and I gave Stacy his 2 cartons back, and because what I did was wrong. And that is the true part of the tale.